Hey Crosswatchers for Virgo, welcome to your cross-watching video for July, the month of July. This is going to be a general reading, you guys, so I always like to say also if you are a Virgo who's watching, just to see if, I'm hitting the nail on the head. Keep in mind these are general readings just like in the weekly readings, so some of it may resonate, all of it may resonate, none of it may resonate. But I promise you, if Spirit has brought you to this video, whether you're a cross-watcher or otherwise, there is at least one message in here for you. Okay, my dears? And again, I don't do this with the intention of spying, of, spilling tea or anything like that. This is done with the intention that whatever is going to be in the best and highest good for everyone to know to come in, so that we're coming into healing here, constructive information, things that are going to bring about positive changes. So this is the intention and the information that I ask to come through the best for everyone involved here to lead to positive situations, healing, growth, closure, advancement, whatever it may be. Okay, so oopsie, there's your first card. And those of you who are my regulars who watch the videos regularly, you're noticing a different setup here from the weekly videos. I don't have my mermaid setup here, but I'm going to do that again in the weekly forecast coming up in the remainder of the summer. And I will have yet another mermaid deck for you guys again. But for the cross-watcher videos, we're keeping it simple. Okay, my darlings, 10 of Fire is coming up in the beginning of your reading here. We're setting off, this is kind of the beginning of the month or the foundation of the month. We've got 10 of Fire. This is a beautiful card because this has to do with completing a cycle, something coming to an end, something coming to a close. And usually a lot of the times when I'm working with this particular deck, I have found this particular card in this deck to mean some karmic cycle or karmic situation is coming to an end. So if you've been dealing with a Virgo who has been stuck in a karmic situation and you've been wanting them to get out, they're coming into a time where they're finally going to do this. For some Virgos, if you are dealing with a lower vibrational Virgo or a Virgo who maybe did you wrong or did you dirty in some way, they are having this moment of awakening, and they're having this moment of having to come in and deal with consequences for their actions. I really love this particular card because the way that it's depicted here with this woman and these, 10 pieces of paper floating around her that are being burnt up, it's symbolic of old contracts, old cycles, old patterns, old agreements being burned up, not doing it anymore. Something coming to an end and coming into a new beginning. So again, your Virgo might be having this really powerful new beginning, like out with the old, in with the new kind of energy. Some of you are going to be dealing with a Virgo who's actually, and you're going to be very surprised by this, but some of you are dealing with a Virgo who's actually going to be coming to you and asking you for help. Virgos tend to be perfectionists. And Virgos can really push themselves very hard. And so some of you are dealing with a Virgo that has taken on way too much, way more than they can actually get to. And they might be turning to you and asking you for your help, asking you for your assistance, asking you, basically to step in and help them in some way. And for some of you, all you really can do is provide support, like be there as like moral support, because some of you are dealing with a Mergo. I do these videos very late, and oftentimes I'm up all night, doing these videos back to back. So sometimes my tongue gets twisted or tied, and that's why sometimes I might say like the wrong sign or something. But Virgo, not Mergo, but Virgo. Some of you are dealing with a Virgo that has gotten themselves into a situation that only they can get themselves out of. And Crosswatcher, you're gonna have to resist the urge to say, I told you so. Because that's the first thing you're gonna want to do. I told you so, you didn't listen to me. I told you this was gonna happen, you didn't listen to me. And the only reason why I'm going to say you're going to have to resist the urge to do so, even though you have the right to say it, and even though you're right, Crosswatcher, this is a situation where it's already taking a lot of them to be able to come to you and to say, hey, I need your help with this. Like, they're being vulnerable, they're opening up to you. So if you have that attitude, or if you're like, dude, I told you this was gonna happen or whatever, they're gonna shut back up. Like, they're gonna clam back up, they're gonna pull away, they're not gonna deal with it anymore. And that's gonna not allow you all to progress or to move forward. I feel some of you have been preparing to file for divorce, or you're in a situation where your Virgo is preparing to file for divorce, and it's been something that maybe has been going back and forth for a really long time. And July seems to be the time that this is actually happening. If you are married to a Virgo, it could be that they had some third party situation that was happening or going on, and like, you've been wanting them to end it. Like, maybe you've like felt like they've been stepping out, and whatever. So July could be the time where this is actually coming to a close, or this third party situation is ending. Again, it's going to be different for different ones of you. Some of you cross watchers, you're in a situation where you're making the decision for the Virgo. You're like, I'm done waiting, I'm ending this contract, or I'm ending this agreement. Like, it's not gonna go this way anymore. Like, if you want to be in my life, here's what my requirements are, here's what I'm needing from you. And here we have Seven of Earth. So this is hard work. Hard work. The Earth energy also is Virgo energy, obviously. And Seven of Earth has to do with just letting you know something here, Crosswatcher. Your Virgo is finally waking up, and your Virgo is ready to do things in a different way, to maybe take your advice or take some of your guidance here, and to work on the relationship with you. However, Seven of Earth lets us know this is going to be a long road. This is going to be a long road, because Seven of Earth is, usually we see it in other tarot decks, it's somebody that's like out working in the field, and he's like resting, he's like leaning against the shovel, like exhausted, because he's been planting and shoveling and planting seeds all day. That's the energy here. You guys are just at the very beginning of this new journey. You're finally ending the old toxic stuff, but to rebuild and to create is going to take a lot of tending to the soil, a lot of planting, a lot of watering, a lot of tending to the garden, so to speak. So it takes time for these seeds to grow. It's not going to be an overnight situation. So we're talking about, some of you are coming into counseling or therapy together, or your Virgo's going to have to go through counseling or therapy together. Some of you are dealing with a Virgo that has a really, really bad substance abuse issue. And I think they're a very high functioning uh, addict. So, this is not the kind of, like, we think of a substance abuse issue or an alcoholic or a drug addict, and we think of somebody that their life is falling apart and they're out on the street and they've spent their last dime. But you might be dealing with a Virgo who is very high functioning, right? Gosh, I used to work in the legal field. I used to work with attorneys and stuff, and there were, every firm I worked at, or a big office I worked at, there was at least one that would like come in drunk, that would just come in like they've been drinking all day, but they would function their job, and they would do a really good job at their job, and they would win a lot of cases, but they'd be like drinking from the time they woke up. They'd be drinking for breakfast, they'd sneak a little drink in the office. There's some people that they can have an addiction, or they can have some kind of a crutch that they lean on, but still function. It's probably rare, right? We're probably used to seeing people that like lose everything or fall apart. And I think a lot of you are dealing with a Virgo that it really hasn't been getting in the way of um, their work life or their career, but it's been getting in the way of their relationships. And they might be in this place where they're starting to feel lonely. They're wanting the connection. They're wanting to feel close. They're wanting to make these changes, but it's gonna be a road ahead. Some of you that have been dealing with a Virgo who is unfaithful, they might be saying something like, hey, you know what, I think I might have an issue with with porn, or I might have an issue with sex or something like that. So there could be this long road around fixing this. But I do feel your Virgo seems to be wanting to fix this. Obviously, this is a general reading, so it's not going to be as extreme for every single one of you. Some of you, it's more like working on communication, or working on codependency, or working on perfectionism, or, things like that. It's not going to be the most extreme case for every single one of you. But as I'm hearing the messages, it's my job to deliver them. So that's a message for somebody out there, or for a certain group out there. But it might not, well, I'm not going to say it might, it for sure is not as extreme for every single one of you that are watching. But keep in mind that this is something that this is going to be a lot of work. Some of you have been holding out for this Virgo for a long time. You might not have issues where like this person has wronged you, or you might not have issues where this person has been stepping out on you or anything like that. You've just been waiting for a long time for this Virgo, or you've been really trying for a very long time for them to give you a chance or to give you a turn, right? Like, you might have known this Virgo for a long time, or you all may have been friends or working together, and you may have seen relationships come and go for this Virgo, and you're like, hello, I'm right here, what about me? Why haven't you given me a chance yet? And so you're having your chance finally with this Virgo. And some of you know, and you feel like you could be a really good person for this Virgo, that you could be a very positive influence for them, that you guys are really compatible in a lot of ways. There's a lot that, could really work well in the relationship. And you're right, you're not wrong, you're not mistaken, but this is going to be a lot of work. Seven of Earth wants you to know. Sometimes for me, the Seven of Earth card is like but careful what you wish for, because you're about to get it, and once you have it, you might be like, wow, this is a lot more work than I realized. And so even though there might be a lot of ways in which you're compatible, or a lot of ways in which this could be a good relationship, or that you could be good for each other, it's gonna be some work, and Spirit wants you to know that about the connection with your Virgo. Next, we have Messenger of Water. Okay, so this is letting us know that there's going to be this time of wanting to connect with the emotions, right? Virgos are an earth sign. They're very practical. A lot of the Virgos I have known, they've been very career oriented, or very focused on their stability, their finances. They've Sometimes the Virgos that I have known have been creatures of habit, right? They have their little routine and they like to be in it. And so this is saying that there's a search or a desire for romance, like to get into the emotional kind of realm. And so for some of you, especially those of you who are dealing with a Virgo that's coming back around or trying to rebuild a relationship, they're going to be making an effort to be more romantic, or to come in a way where they're being very romantic and sweeping you off your feet, or like trying to be more expressive in some way about their emotions or their feelings. But there's gonna be some displays or expressions or desire for romance. Or if you're in a relationship with a Virgo, right, and you're trying to rebuild it, your Virgo might be wanting some romance from you. And typically, obviously, when we're dealing with like a male-female relationship, men usually know that if they want to smooth something over with a female, or even with another male partner, if it's a male-male relationship, that there's like some romance here that's like needed. But when we're dealing with like a hetero male-female relationship, women can sometimes forget that hetero men also want romance, or would appreciate some kind of a romantic gesture, or would appreciate for the woman to set like a romantic mood here. And so this is coming up to let you know that this is going to be a beneficial energy here, to bring in some romance, to bring in some sensuality, some softness. It can go a long way here in the connection in July. Next we have, leading up to the Passion, Ace of Fire. Ace of Fire. So this is about passion, this is about connection, this is about physical intimacy, this is about like going for like a being in the moment, living in the moment, seizing the moment. So romance and passion are something that Virgo is longing for. Romance and passion are something that Virgo would really like to have more of. You know, they're maybe coming out of that practicality, like I said. They're coming out of that, everyday kind of, perfectionism, self criticism, and they're wanting to have this lighter energy. They're wanting to connect in this way. So if you are in a situation with a Virgo that you're already dating the person or involved, this is going to be a great way that you can kind of come in and be with them. If you've been pursuing this Virgo, then you might want to take a more playful approach. Get them into more playful things or more playful situations, because I feel like your Virgo is like hungry for this right now, right? They don't necessarily want to sit and talk about feelings or sit and talk about the future. They want to enjoy the here and now. They want to be in that passion of the moment kind of energy. Oh, and next we have here Queen of Fire. Queen of Fire. So this is a very, very, again, passionate card or passionate energy. Okay, Queen of Fire, she's the life of the party. She's sexy. She's funny. She's independent. Everything she has worked for. She is by no means a spoiled little princess who's had everything handed for her. She's had to work damn hard. And so I do feel for some of you, this is saying that you've been putting a lot of work or a lot of effort, and that it will be paying off for you, Crosswatcher. I do feel some of you feel you're in a situation with a Virgo that you may be the third party. But like I said, this is something that's going to be resolved in July. A decision is being made. A decision is being made. So if you have a situation here where it's just been kind of like, a tale of two lovers, right? Or some kind of a love triangle, that's coming to an end. That a decision is being made here. But Crosswatcher, I feel like this Queen of Fire is like your energy. Like you're just coming into this energy with Virgo where you're like, look, I'm a fun person. I'm bringing color into your gray little world here, and I know what I have to offer. I know what I'm bringing to the table. So if you want it, here are the guidelines, or here are my expectations. But again, with that, Knight of Cups and that Ace of Fire and that Queen of Fire, it gives me a sense or a feeling that your Virgo is going to respond much more to that passionate energy, to that fun energy, to that connection, more so than, coming down with like, this we need to talk. We need to talk, and we need to discuss this, and we need to discuss that. And it's just more like, look, like you've had a taste of the honey, right? Like you've had a sample, and you know what you have to receive from me. You know what you're getting out of this relationship. I know what I'm bringing into it. So here's the terms. Like, take it or leave it. You're coming into this confidence. And I think that your Virgo is also being inspired by this. I think that in the connection, like you bringing this in, Crosswatcher, it's giving them the courage to do the same in their life, to kind of break out of the unnecessary obligations, or just the things that they're feeling like they don't want to do, but they're being forced to do. You may be inspiring your Virgo very much in this way. I guess in a nutshell, Virgo is hungry for inspiration in July. And I feel, Crosswatcher, you have the opportunity to be this muse, to be this inspiration, but at the same time, hold your boundaries clear, right? So, if you want a commitment here, or if you want the relationship to be a certain way, these things need to be communicated. Okay, so a lot of passion, here. And Virgos, and this is not to say that Virgos cannot be passionate. I mean, I've dated one Virgo in my life, and they were a very passionate person, but Virgos don't tend to have the reputation as passionate as, say, maybe what a Scorpio, or some other signs that maybe have a reputation for being a little bit more passionate, or like a Pisces or something. But I think your Virgo is wanting for their passion to come out. They're wanting to connect with that energy. Likely, if you do have a Virgo who you haven't heard from in a long time and they're kind of resurfacing, they may kind of have one thing on their mind. And so if you have a strong soul connection with this person or a strong affinity for this person, it might be very tempted to just like get swept up and go right back into the romance. But it's up to you to be in your Queen of Fire moment, whether you're male or female, to be in your Queen of Fire moment and to understand that you have power over your sensuality. You have control over who you share that part of you with. And if you can't do it without getting your feelings involved or risking your feelings, then you're going to have to set down some ground rules, you know, make them kind of uh walk the walk, you know, before you're just kind of falling right back into their arms. Okay, my darling. So I don't know. I just feel like Virgo's hungry for you. Virgo is hungry for you. And I think that they might be ready to make a decision between you and this other person, for you that have been feeling like you've been caught in this thing. But if you're giving them a situation where they can have their cake and eat it too, then guess what? They're going to have their cake and eat it too. They're not going to make the decision if you're making it convenient for them to carry on in that way. So, I just think you're on Virgo's mind. I really do. I think they're having a hard time forgetting about you. And it's up to you. It's up to you to stay in that clear communication, you know, be clear about what you want and what you're expecting, and to go from there, you know. So, again, check out your love reading for the month of July. It's going to be up within the next 48 hours from the posting of this video, and see what your personal love reading for the week has to say. For the month, I'm sorry. And then the weekly forecasts too, guys, are about you, are about the sun sign. It's about you. So I know we like to look at the love readings and the crosswatcher readings, but don't forget about you. And the weekly forecast videos I do are meant to focus on you and your life and your journey and nobody else but you. So check those out as well, my darlings. I thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a fabulous July.